One of the frequently asked questions that I keep getting by players is if I'm using gyroscope to play the game. Well, the answer to that is yes. For someone to be able to use gyroscope like a pro, you sure need to have a good gaming posture and steady hands, which takes time to build. Today, SPART will help you find out if you should use gyroscope or shouldn't. And if you want me to put out more content like this, feel free to leave a like and a sub. First, let's start with the basics. What is gyroscope? A gyroscope is a device used for measuring or maintaining orientation and angular velocity. Sounds like what only the nerds will understand, but let me break it down. Ever played a mobile car race game like Asphalt? In order to control your vehicle in Asphalt, all you need to do is tilt your phone left or right, and it will move in that direction without you touching your screen. Well, when gyroscope is activated in Bloodstrike, controlling recoil can become more easier, as pulling down your screen instead of your shot button will control it. With gyroscope, recoil control can become more manageable than ever. Rather than using your finger to control recoil, with the right sensitivity, you can just rotate your device forwards to counter the kick of your weapon. This is very useful with guns that have fast upward recoil, such as the SCAR and the AK-47. You basically don't have to worry about recoil with your finger anymore. You just need your finger to hit the fire buttons. And yes, you can track targets with gyroscope as well. Having gyroscope turned on is like having an extra finger on your screen. But if you're a beginner, SPART will advise that you practice it and take it one step at a time, as it will take some time to get used to gyroscope and you may lose the majority of your gunfights at first. Gyroscope has its advantages and disadvantages. Currently, I'm teaching you the benefits of the gyroscope in Bloodstrike. Using the gyroscope can help significantly in freeing up an attachment slot in your loadout build. That extra attachment can be used for range, bullet spread, or accuracy. The gyroscope helps its users free up their fingers and lets them do more important things, such as movement tracking and firing. Most pro gyroscope players literally don't have to worry about running out of screen space, as they just have to pull down whenever they're controlling recoil. In a fast-paced game like Bloodstrike, you need the fastest reaction time possible, giving you a competitive edge against your enemy. If you're playing with fingers only, you might find it tough at times, even tedious, to do crazy movements and harder to hit enemies. Personally, I love breaking the ankles of my opponents by using advanced movement techniques. The gyroscope not only makes movement easier for me but also gives you the ability to perform most advanced movement tricks easier than having to use your fingers to do everything. Like I mentioned in some of the previous points, this will allow your fingers to focus on other things, like firing or even snapping onto your targets while you do movement. While utilizing the gyroscope, doing zigzag movement is even possible, while only using one finger for your joystick while you tilt your device using the gyroscope. You know you have mastered gyroscope when you can fluidly use it with your fingers, being able to achieve things that you can't do with just 4 fingers alone. If you want to learn movement while using gyroscope, I suggest you check out this precious video on movement link down below. Another thing you should try is liking this video. It really helps me do more content and grow the channel. I have talked about the advantages. Now let me tell you about the disadvantages. Now if you say, "Yo, I'm going to turn on my gyroscope and start using it," I can assure you that 9 times out of 10, you will get frustrated and think of turning it off. You need to put in a lot of work, time, and effort in order to master this new mechanic that you're adding into your gameplay. You will have to get used to holding your hands steady to prevent your screen from moving unnecessarily, and your aim from shaking. This means new muscle memory to learn, and because you're registering new muscle memory, it will take time for you to get comfortable with the gyroscope. Not only will you have to get comfortable with the new muscle memory, but you will also have to find your own sensitivity. Finding your sensitivity is another important factor in being effective while utilizing this feature. If you're new to the gyroscope, you might experience nausea if your gyroscope sensitivity is too high. A great way to try out the gyroscope is to start on a low and slow sensitivity and work your way up from there. Or if you're an "I can take it all" type of player, max out everything and adjust until you get comfortable with each sensitivity. With keeping your hands steady, biomechanics come into play. That means you're going to have a permanent position whenever you're playing with the gyroscope in order to remove any inconsistencies in your game. If you're trying to play a combo with gyroscope on, you won't be able to do so while lying down with the gyroscope. Just like finding your sensitivities, you have to find where and what you're comfortable with whenever you're playing. Avoid changing places, positions, and sensitivities all the time so you can perform consistently every time you play. Not only that, using the gyroscope also puts additional stress on your phone, causing it to get hot at times and drop your FPS. Having a fan beside you or a phone cooler can help you prevent your phone from heating up like crazy whenever you're using the gyroscope. Or if you have the money, buy a new, stronger, and more capable device to handle the stress. Using the gyroscope can give you the advantage in close-range gunfights, but in reality, it may hurt your performance at longer ranges. If you're trying to laser someone from long range and you have a high sensitivity, you might have a hard time tracking your target from far away. Most mobile pro snipers don't use the gyroscope because they want to be precise and eliminate any added shake whenever they scope in. From my personal experience using the gyroscope, it helps react faster in close range. But if I try to snipe someone from long range, it's really difficult to keep your hands steady. So if you're more of a passive player, being able to take down faraway targets is important for you, and if you're not patient enough to handle gyroscope, then stick to 4 fingers instead. If you're having difficulty mastering gyroscope in this area as well, give the gyroscope a little bit more time and patience if you really want to integrate it into your game. In the end, the gyroscope is available for everyone who wants to use it. It has its own cons and benefits, and it's up to you if you're willing to put up with the negatives in exchange for the positives you can gain from using it. It really is suitable for players who like to rush and play fast. The gyroscope makes a player better in some aspects of the game, but we cannot say that it guarantees you to become the best player you can be. Some people perform their best with the gyroscope, while some people play really without it. In order to compete against a gyroscope player at a high level, you need to use at least 4-finger claw to beat them at their own game. But if you're playing on a tablet, and you're using 4 to 6 fingers, I wouldn't recommend using gyroscope because tablets are too heavy to handle all the time. That's it for today's video. Make sure you drop a like if it helped you decide whether you should use gyroscope or not. If you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments or ask me on my Discord or Twitter link down below. Sensi SPART, stay legendary.